All right, friends. Well, welcome to our class tonight that is really targeted towards reducing joint pain. So some tips and tricks for healthier, happier joints. So I made a few notes because these are some things that I've been practicing recently that I wanted to share with you, and I'll post some of this later. I think it's going to be actually a perfect blog post to put in more detail for you. And some of you I'm working with individually in personalized coaching, so we can go deeper. I'm going to kind of keep this generalized a little bit today. But the first reason I think that we want to identify is the why we might have joint pain in our bodies. And that's not always so easy to decode. So I'm just going to launch out a few ideas and you can kind of reflect to see, does that resonate with me? So, sometimes we have sore joints because of stress. Let's face it, any kind of cognitive stress, any change in our lifestyle, in our schedule, change of job, change of relationship, change of environment can cause an inflammatory, stressful response in the body that can create pain. If we're not sleeping well, which could lead to hormonal imbalance within our body, can also lead to pain, especially when our stress hormones, adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol, are more present. That can also lead to an eventual inflammatory response in our body. So we need stress, let's face it. That's what gives us the motivation to get going in life. But if it's chronic stress where it's prolonged, then we start feeling symptoms, headaches and fatigue and mood alterations, and physically just feeling a little bit more out of sorts sometimes and painful. So stress is a big one. Dehydration. So I invite you to keep your water bottle close. Continue drinking enough water. I try to drink 2 or 3 of those at least in the day. So proper hydration can also help with the circulation for healthy joints. If we are dehydrated, then that's affecting the synovial fluid and circulation within all of our joints. So hydration is a big one. And when we talk about inflammatory responses, so reducing things like stress, excess caffeine, alcohol, smoking, what else causes inflammation? Diet, there's certain foods, inflammatory foods, and there's anti-inflammatory foods. So the first thing I do when I start my morning is a big glass of water, and I take vitamin C and turmeric. Those are really wonderful products for anti-inflammatory. I take collagen as well for the joints. So those are my 3 go-to products first thing in the morning, and I know that helps. Then when I have my shower, this is an Ayurvedic remedy that you can do. This is sesame oil. So an Ayurvedic technique is to warm this one. Let me specify, this is skincare oil for soothing moisture, and not toasted sesame oil that you do your vegetable stir fries with. You're going to smell like a stir fry. Okay, so not the cooking sesame oil. I just wanted to clarify that. This is really a skin oil, so it's just got a very light scent. And so what you do is you put a little bit in your palm, rub your palms together, and then massage all the joints in your body, shoulders, elbows, wrists. You can do hips, knees, ankles, and then you get in the shower. So it's warming for the joints, very soothing. That could be another trick that you try to help soothe those joints. It's one that works for me also. And also the big one, this is what we're going to focus on right now without spending too much time talking, is our posture. Our posture is super important. So how do we hold our head? How do we hold our shoulders over our hips? How do we sit, stand, and move around in our day? Repetitive movement can cause joint pain as well. Not being strong enough in certain muscles to support the joints can cause pain. And too much sitting, right, can cause pain as well, especially for the hips, the sacrum, and the lower back. Our body is built to move, but moving in a healthy way. So a point to consider, if we have a lot of tension in our body, some people hold it in their neck, shoulders. Mine is mostly my hips and my lower back, but sometimes shoulders and upper back and neck. And then we go and do weight training or resistance training. We're actually we can create more pain and more discomfort if there's already tension. So this is where it's important to start your program with mobility exercises first before stability and strengthening. We're going to do a little bit today because it's important to contract the muscles. But what I'm seeing in the postural assessments that I do and one-on-one with clients, and I've noticed it with myself, and I've learned this from the therapists that I've seen, coaches, is that our muscles, if we're overly stressing the muscles, either because we're just stressed with life or because we're too stressed with a certain type of exercises we do, the muscles don't switch off. All right. So our muscles need to be able to contract, but they should very quickly know how to relax. So if we don't have proper contraction relaxation, that can lead to joint pain as well. Okay. So we're going to work through getting the circulation, the synovial fluid going through our joints. Let's just start with 3 deep breaths. Close your eyes. Let's inhale through the nose and just check in with our own bodies. So I'm sitting up on a bolster. You might want a block or a bolster or a cushion to sit on. If my hips are sore, it feels better to sit higher. You can sit in a chair as well. And scan your own body and see, where do I feel any tension, pain, or discomfort right now from head to toe? You might already know that. All right. And then slow the breath down. So another nourishing way of relaxing the nervous system is by stabilizing our breathing. So I invite you right now, and this is what makes yoga, all right, is tuning into the breath and allowing the breath to guide our movement. So we inhale slowly through the nose. Draw the air deep down towards your pelvis, towards the pubic bone, and exhale gradually. So we'll add a few more. I said a few breaths, but we'll do a few more than that. So we inhale, go as deeply as you can with the breath without forcing or straining. And as you exhale, we exhale completely without forcing or straining. So as we bring balance to our breath in a rhythmic way, we're bringing more balance gradually, training our nervous system to feel steady, more relaxed and smooth. All right, so slow that breath down, knowing that your intention today is to help reduce that joint pain by relaxing your nervous system, relaxing the fascia, the muscles, the connective tissue, bringing circulation, oxygen, and more nutrients to our joints so that they feel better. And movement is magic for that. So let's start with a little bit of neck movement. We'll go from neck downwards towards toes. So take your shoulders down away from your ears. And we'll just go into some gentle extension. So tilt your head slightly back and look up. And then draw your chin down to your chest. And as you bring your chin down, lift your sternum up. Now, if you're somebody that holds neck tension, or if that feels painful in any way, and there's days where my neck feels a little tense, this is what you can do. Interlace your fingers just on the back of your neck so that you're supporting the neck. That way you won't go into extension too far. So feel like you're lifting your head up off of your shoulders, up first, and then back. Yes. And then slowly dropping the head forward. So just do that 3 more times. We'll do about 6 total repetitions. Gentle extension and gentle flexion. Now imagine keeping space between each of those vertebrae, lengthening and drawing the chin down as the sternum lifts up. So you're keeping your spine long. How about one more like that? Breathing in and breathing out. Let the breath guide. Good. Now, as you come back, release your hands if you did use your hands on your neck and do a retraction. So we draw the chin in and then stick the chin out. Most of our day-to-day life, our chin's too far out here. We want to bring it in. Okay, I catch myself when I'm texting on my phone. My head is like this and bent forward. All right, our head is meant to be stacked over the shoulders. So chin in, chin out. One more time, chin in. Okay, so we're working the cranial nerves as we do that, the small muscles. Now chin in, retraction, shoulders down. Turn your head to one side. Come back to the center. Turn your head to the other side. Now notice the difference. If you were to let your chin go out with relaxed, just slumped shoulders, our head doesn't turn as far and it. All right. And that's why often we have pain, because our posture is not aligned and we try to do our sports and our day-to-day movement and our muscles aren't doing the job they're supposed to be doing. So chin in, then we turn, and notice the difference in your range of motion. All right, side to side. We'll do that one more time. Retraction of the chin, spine long. We have so much more mobility. And then last time on the other side. Okay, so we think about lining up our joints. Good. Now send the arms forward. Let's move into the shoulders, palms facing one another. And this is like a big locomotive. So we're making big shoulder circles here towards the front. Okay, just that's it. So elevate the shoulders, bring them forward and back. So you'll see my back is kind of moving. It's the shoulder blades that are moving. So the upper back as much as possible here. That's it. So we're learning to train those postural upper back muscles, the rotator cuff muscles in and around the shoulder blade. So 6 to 8 times like that. Relax straight arms and then go to the back. So up, back, and down. Okay, so you're doing scapular elevation, retraction, depression, protraction, elevation, depression. Okay, so just think about the shoulder blades here through the upper middle back. Do a couple more like that. Notice how that feels. And then relax the arms down. So if you have tension in those muscles and you go to do weight training, you're going to bring more tension into it. So we want to release that first. Okay, so arms at 90 degrees. Open now. So open through the pecs. This is all great for the shoulders and the upper back and the neck. So we open nice and wide. The arms are about 90 degrees here. And then close. So notice where you feel that stretch or that elongation through the pectoral muscles, through the shoulders, maybe your neck and upper back, depending on where your tension is hidden in your body today. Again, anywhere between 6 and 8 of those will be our range of movement. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Now breathe with that. So we're making it yoga. We're doing this with conscious awareness. And then one last time, we'll change that move. Think about sometimes the spider fingers. So we bring the fingertip, the pads of the fingers together. Now glue the elbows together. Okay, now lift the arms as much as possible and then lower the elbows down as low as possible. Keep going. So your spine is nice and long and tall. You're sitting long. You can change your position if you need to. And up. I really feel that in the back of my shoulder muscles, and down. Okay, so lift. Can you keep those fingertips together? Can you keep your elbows together? Now, if there's a lot of tightness there, your range of movement might be very small. Okay, as it loosens up, your range of motion will increase, I promise. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, stay up there. Go as high as you can. Up, 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 as high as you can. Good. And hold it there. Hold it there. So you're gluing your elbows together, gluing the fingertips together. I feel my pectoral muscles really working hard to keep that position. Okay, so this is a little stability movement to those shoulders. And then release. Give it a little shake. Feel the circulation come back in. And we'll come into the fingers and hands. So elbows close to your body, fingers spread wide. Now make fist with your hands. So we start with a thumb. So we open the thumb, index, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. And then little finger, ring finger, middle finger, index, thumb. Keep going. Okay, so let's do that with our breath. Inhale as you unravel and open your fingers. Exhale as you start to close those fingers and bring it in. Okay, opening up. Spreading as wide as you can. Again, about 6 of those will be good. And feel if each finger has the same amount of mobility. Can you open individually? When I get to my ring finger, I find that really tough. And then trying to close the little finger first, then the ring finger, middle finger. I can feel that all the way up my forearm to my elbow. So if we have elbow pain, sometimes we can take a look at what's happening in the hands or the wrists. Okay, last time. Because where we feel pain might not be where the pain originates or the dysfunction of your posture originates. Okay, give it a little shake out. So that's why we investigate. Let that go. All right, so we're going to go into the wrists. So spread the fingers wide and we send the wrists in and out. So like an inversion, eversion. Like you're moving through the inner and the outer part of your forearm. Now, do your hands move evenly on both arms? If you've had a wrist injury, you might notice that the hands don't move. So you're just kind of going side to side, not with the elbow, but just with the wrist. Okay, so I have to hold my elbows close so I don't include the elbows here. We just want to get those muscles moving. Okay, and then circle the wrists, make fists with your hands. Nice big circles. Bring your breath to it, your awareness to it. Let this be enjoyable. Okay, and other side. So these are kind of great preventative movements as medicine, circulation, nutrients to our tissues and joints. Good. Last one like that. And then give the hands a little shake. Bring the fingertips down. You can use the opposite hand and just gently bring the fingertips inward so that you're starting to lengthen through the front part of the inner part of the arm, the forearms. So your flexor muscles, biceps and flexors of the forearms. Good. And then the extensors of the forearms, we do the opposite movement, reaching for the hand, taking the fingertips to the wrist. So you're kind of pulling it in this way. Use the other hand. It just gives you that little pressure that you need to get the stretch for the back part of those extensor muscles, the forearm. So just a few breaths as you hold, then we release that hand. We'll do the same thing on the other one. Okay, so fingers down, using the other hand to give you a little help. If the shoulders are tight, just take the arm lower. We can always play with the range. And then other direction, moving into the extensors. So you're taking the hand inwards this time. You should feel that in the back of the forearm. So again, any elbow pain might be due to tight forearm extensors or flexors. If you're always on the keyboard or repetitive movement or driving, these are nice ones to do. And then you can give it a little shake out, and we'll come to all fours after this one, spine and hips. So I'm going to move my cushion aside. Now spread your fingers nice and wide on your mat like we usually do in this position. Get the knees right under the hips and feel how there's probably more mobility there already in the wrists. And start to bend the elbows down to the floor and back up. Breathing in and breathing out. And in. So a little bit of stability here through the shoulders and triceps, like a little bit of a tricep push-up, and release. Now curl your toes under, spread the toes, widen the hands and the knees a little bit, shift your weight to the right, and start circles with your body. Now let yourself get loose and just focus on your spine for the moment. Let your head relax. Feel that space between the shoulder blades. Feel that space moving down towards the lower spine. Circling here in one direction, another once or twice, and we'll change it up. And as you change up your movement a little bit. So maybe relax the elbows, relax the shoulders. If you want to move more into the hips, you would uncurl your toes so that you could sit back further to your heels and do a larger circle. Play with that. Again, I'm inviting you to explore motion so that you can get into those tight little areas that might be offering discomfort or even pain. I'll do this one. My hips and my lower back are feeling really sore. We'll just really go into the depth of the movement. How about one more circle like that? And then come back towards your heels. Stretch the arms out. Take a nice, long, deep breath. Breathe slowly into your lower back area. Send breath into your hips. We're working the lower diaphragmatic muscles, the rib cage as we send breath low. And then we're going to come down onto the belly into a variation of a Sphinx pose with the legs extended and close together. So they could be touching or just a hip distance apart, but fairly close. On the elbows, palms facing up. Okay, so place your elbows right under your shoulders here so you feel supported. Let me just... All right, so we're going to do a contraction relaxation for the core muscles in this position. And if your lower back is sore, then you just take your chin down to your hands so there's less compression. But try to go long as opposed to pushing yourself up. Okay, get length from your toes right up through the crown of the head. So now what I'm going to invite you to do is broaden the collarbones. Okay, let your head get long. Remember in the beginning we did the chin retraction. Pull the chin retraction into position. And now squeeze your glutes nice and tight. Squeeze the pelvic floor muscles and squeeze your belly. See if you can tighten all that up for a few seconds here. And as you exhale again, let your glutes relax, your pelvic floor muscles and your abdomen. Do it again. So we contract the glutes, squeeze pelvic floor like you had to go to the bathroom, all those sphincters, urinary sphincters, anal sphincters, belly button in like when you cough, all that's tight, tight. And then release. Now you want to try to relax quickly. Teach those muscles how to relax so that it's not gripping in your sacrum and your lower back. Okay, so keep going. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze the pelvic floor, squeeze the belly in, tight, tight, tight. Take another breath. And as you exhale, try to relax all those muscles quickly. Okay, so it releases the gripping of the sacrum and lower back. Again, squeeze, glutes, pelvic floor, abdomen. Keep your spine long. That's it. Press into your forearms. And then relax. Quickly relax those muscles. Can we do 2 more like that? All right. Squeezing glutes. Drawing the belly in, pelvic floor engaged. And release. And one more time. Notice if it feels different. Squeeze your buns. Squeeze all those pelvic muscles, your sphincters internally, belly in. Those are all the deep abdominal muscles that support your spine. And then when you exhale, try to relax them quickly. Let it go. Good. And then come down onto your belly. Extend your arms behind you, locust position. Glue the feet together now. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Pull your knuckles towards your heels. Get the shoulders down away from your ears. Now just get long for a moment. We're not lifting yet. Stretch out through the toes. See if you can decompress your hips, your knees, your ankles, and your feet. Pause, breathe in. Slowly breathe out. Just enjoying this prone position, opening up the chest and shoulders, activating the upper back, middle back, gluteal muscles, your whole posterior muscles, your body. And now come up a little higher. Now go longer rather than higher. Extend out through the crown of your head, extend out through the toes. So don't force yourself to go high. You're going to go as high as you need to feel your butt, your back contract, your chest and shoulders open without pinching or pain. You feel muscle activation, not joint pain. And then slowly release back down. Let everything relax. Feel your back, feel your hips, feel your chest. We're going to do that one more time. So lengthen through the legs. Tighten the glutes here slightly, pelvic floor. We lift the chest, pull the knuckles towards your heels. Breathe in, breathe out. We maintain that activation of the muscles, feeling a little bit of heat building in the body. And then try to relax all those muscles as you come down. Whatever you felt tighten, try to let them release now. So that's a technique to teach the muscles to relax. Okay, let's take the hands forward and rest the chin on your hands. Part your legs a little bit wider, at least shoulder distance here. Okay, wiggle your hips side to side. Pelvis rocking from right to left. Good. And then bend your knees. And just do a little windshield wiper. So both lower legs will move to the right and then over to the left. Okay, so nice and easy. Now try to do that without any resistance. Close your eyes perhaps and feel your body's motion. And are there any areas that you could relax maybe 1% more? Slow rhythmic breath. This is we're keeping your yoga engaged with this conscious awareness of your body, of your movement, restoring optimal well-being to every joint in our body here today, to reduce any discomfort or pain by bringing more circulation, more nutrients that circulation carries and oxygen. So the next time you come back to the center with those legs, we'll do circles. So you can bring the knees maybe slightly closer together, hip distance, send the legs back down to the floor, then out to the side, bend your knees and bring the heels together at your bum. Do that again, lower, release to the outside, come back. This is a nice way to release the sacrum. Also circulation in a very gentle way for your knee joints. We'll do 4 or 5 of them in each direction. Nice slow breaths. Just have fun with it. Let this be enjoyable, not too serious. Feel that you're doing something good for your body right now. Not overly straining it. We're decompressing, letting the body evacuate pent-up tension that you might have accumulated. Allowing those, letting those muscles relax. And after that last couple of circles that you complete, let's release the legs back down. Arms alongside your body. Turn your head to one side. Close your eyes. Just notice the weight of your body now descend into your mat. Try to surrender the weight. And just like you would in a shavasana, lying on your back, this time lying on your belly, can you position yourself in such a way where that it might be a little bit more comfortable, maybe 1% more comfortable? What would you do? Come back to your breath. When we get tense or when we're in pain, we tend to hold the breath. We're not bringing fresh oxygen in, and that causes discomfort as well. Give yourself permission just to feel supported by the ground beneath you. And then gently, let's take the hands underneath the shoulders. Return your head back into the center. We're going to come onto our back with our knees bent here. So come up slowly, back into all fours. I usually find it helpful just to do a little cat stretch here after lying on the belly. So drawing the head down, tucking the tailbone right under, pressing into the floor. You can even pedal those hands into the floor a little bit, right to left. So you're not gripping or overly holding tension on one arm for too long. And with a rounded spine, very slowly start to bring your weight back to your knees. So I have almost no tension in my hands at all right now. And I'm bringing my hips down to my heels in very slow motion, feeling the spinal muscles start to stretch, chin tucked into the chest, And that gives a gentle compression to the knees, lengthening through the quadriceps, which we're going to continue in a moment here, lying on the back into a bridge formation. So as you unravel your spine, as you're on your knees, lengthen your back. Yes, and let's come down onto our back now. Let's keep moving nice and slow, so there's no rush in these movements. Same thing as we curl down towards that variation of a child's pose. Reach for your tibia here and roll yourself down one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. So feel the sacrum curl under you, lumbar spine. You can almost count those 5 lumbar vertebrae down to those 12 thoracic mid-back vertebrae. And then all the way down till your head reaches the floor. Adjust yourself so that your shoulders are down on the ground. Feet are hip distance apart. Now spread your toes nice and wide. We're going to work the feet and the ankles in a moment, but you want to anchor them into the floor first. Arms alongside of the body. Walk your fingers to your heels and then tuck your chin down towards your chest. Pelvic tilt. Press the lower back in towards the floor. And then gently let the pubic bone rock forward and just a gentle arch of the lower back. Do that one here now 4 times. Exhale, slowly press the back to the floor. Inhale, gradually allow the pelvis to anteriorly tilt. Slow posterior tilt as you exhale. And so it's your breath doing this movement for you. You're not forcing or straining. Notice if you're tense anywhere, can you let that go? Just rock the pelvis in a really soothing kind of way. Nourishing your intervertebral discs. And we'll do just a little bit of stability before moving back into the ankle and foot mobility. But this time, let's bring the feet close together. So your pelvis is now neutral, not flat, not overly arched, somewhere in the middle. Press the arms and the hands and the fingers down into the floor, chin to chest. And then with that pelvis neutral, just lift your hips off the floor. So you're pressing evenly into your right and left heel, the right and left forefoot, the ball of your foot. Now start to send your knees away from you, like you're sending your knees to the wall. Lifting your hips as high as they'll go comfortably so that you sense the activation of the muscles around the pelvis, your thighs and your gluteal muscles and your hips. Let's take a slow breath in, a slow breath out. Let the weight be on your upper back. Very little weight on the head or neck. And when you exhale again, come down the same way, just neutral spine, slowly lowering the hips back down to the floor. Good. Pause there for a moment. Bring your feet back to hip distance apart, separating them. Let your body settle. Come back to another breath. So what I invite you to do is consciously scan your body and notice if there's any gripping anywhere. Can you let that go with your awareness, meaning letting go of the tension? Facial muscles, shoulders, your belly, your thighs. And then let's reach for the right thigh. So interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. And we're doing some ankle and footwork. So do big, big circles with your ankle here. And I'm going to invite you to spread your toes and consider how that feels. So I'm just kind of supporting my leg. I'm not gripping too much. I'm exploring how large I can make those ankle circles. And so just like we did earlier with the forearms, this is working a lot of the anterior tibialis and your calf, different areas of the calf and the shin. your foot, your toes. So if you have foot pain, ankle pain, knee pain, this is a way to retrack the knee to be in alignment with the toes, release pressure through the feet, which affects our posture. And then go the other direction, big circles. Notice if that feels different. I can feel all these muscles working here in my tibia and my calf. Big, big circles. And after a couple more circles, let's point and flex slowly. Point, go as far as you can, pointing the foot, and then flex, draw the toes back towards your nose. Send the toes away. Point the foot, flex the foot. Point and flex. And when you're working with these ones on your own, you can do up to 20 of those. That's usually the range I'll encourage people to aim for. Sometimes just starting with the 10 is enough. I know I feel all those muscles working. All right. And then just give it a shake out. So bend your knee. You can take your hand to your tibia, give it a little shake, like you're kicking your heel towards your sit bone. Yeah, nice and loose. Now extend your left leg out onto the floor. Just nice and relaxed. So we're not pointing or pushing in any way. Just let it kind of swing down there. I'm giving it a shake to release the hip and the thigh. Now rock your right thigh from right to left. Let it rock right to left and notice what you feel, which muscles are drawing your attention. As you go to the left, you might feel the glute and the outer thigh. As you go to the right, you might feel the adductors, the inner thigh a little bit. This is working all the glutes and the hips, also lower back. Now we're going to work 3 angles here with a little bit of a shake. So let's take the knee out to the right side and just keep it there a little bit and just do like a little shiver, just a little shake, like you're bouncing slightly here, not forcefully, but just adding some movement. This is one way to release tension from the muscles in the hip, the glute. Come back to the breath. Let that be soothing. I feel my whole body starting to release. Now go to the middle and just keep shaking it a little bit. Controlled shake or bounce, shiver, however you want to call it, any speed that works well for you. And then take it a little bit more over to the left. Notice how that feels. Now, if you have tight hip flexors, that might be a little more pinchy. So adjust your range of motion so that there's no pain, no pinching. Send the leg away from you a little bit farther. That might make it feel better. And then come back into the center. Position the foot on the floor. Let that leg, right leg, extend out to meet the left. Give both legs a little shake as though you're pressing them into the ground, massaging the back of the legs. Roll the thigh bones in and out rapidly. And then get really still, arms alongside of your body. Close your eyes. You might notice the sensations of your peripheral nervous system, a little tingling, a little bit of life and energy circulating through the legs. Just notice what you feel, get curious. Return to a slow rhythmic breath. Allow your body to relax. So we're combining the work with the rest. Let's do the work on the other side. Bend both knees, feet on the floor, pelvis nice and neutral. Let's reach for the back of the left thigh this time and do those ankle circles here. Big, big ankle circles. slower than you might be used to. So really take your time and get curious, working through the entire range of motion that your ankle can do. So it's about 10, but 10 to 20 is the repetition range that I would suggest. Start conditioning those muscles of the foot, the ankle, the calf, the tibialis. Restoring optimal function is what we're doing when we focus on postural work, so that we're correcting our asymmetries or our imbalances in our body that cause the pain. When we're more symmetrical from right to left, front to back, above to below, our body functions better in everything that we do. That's what a lot of these movements will help you do. Now go the other direction so we can assess our posture from head to toe to see where our imbalances are. And that's how when I coach people individually, it's then prescribing exercises that are optimal for your body. But this is a beautiful general routine from head to toe we're doing today that we can all benefit from anytime. So do you feel different in this direction? I feel this direction going outwards a little bit more today, interestingly. Okay, so a couple more big circles. Spread the toes. Use the entire foot, all the toes, your ankle. All right, and then we'll go into the point and flex. Point the toes as far as you can, then bring them towards your nose. Smooth out the breath, which can help you smooth out your movement. Yes, full range. You might be feeling, depending on what muscles work during the day for you and which ones don't work enough. I'm feeling these through my anterior leg. So one last time. And then we can draw the thigh towards our chest. Good. Give that a little shake like you're kicking the heel to the bum so that your foot is loose and the ankle is loose. Just give it a little release. Good for your toes, to your ankle, to your knee. All right. Now slowly, let's release. Let's extend the right leg out onto the floor. Give it a little shake down. The hip flexors. Stay relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Check in again. And then move your leg, that thigh on the left side here from left. So moving outside of the hip to the middle to the inside. Like you're rocking that thigh. Really slow motion, getting curious. See the adductors opening the inner thigh, the middle part of the glute, and then to the outer part of the hip. Rhythmic, slow breath here. So we're staying consciously aware. It's not just a stretching class you're doing here. The difference is the yoga brings this conscious awareness, this mindfulness, this soothing connection to source. So you're feeling your own vibration, your own energy, restoring your optimal well-being by just slowing down enough to come home to your body, your mind. And we're going to add those little shakes again. So go back out to the side, so the left thigh out to the left side, and just give it a little bounce. Okay, I've got my left thigh over to the left side a little bit. 5 or 10 times. Come back to the middle here when you're finished that one. See how that feels. Get if those hip flexors are tighter, that might be pinchy. So just move the thigh away from you a bit more. Let the breath carry you through that little bounce, controlled bounce. And then we'll take that thigh to the right side a little bit. Just still giving it that controlled shake. And then back to the middle. And as you place your foot down on the floor, let your left leg slide out to meet your right leg. Wiggle both legs around, shake them, bouncing the thighs, compressing them onto the floor. And then rolling the thighs in and out. This time, slow down the movement. So let the rotation happen from the top of your femur, the upper thigh bone here. And so as the upper thigh bone rotates, notice the knees roll in and out, the shins roll in and out, the feet will follow. Breathe. Now let your arms come down alongside of your body, palms facing up. Let's get still again as we invite silence and stillness into the body and the mind. Our body naturally goes into its own state of homeostasis or balance. And when we've slowed our brain waves and slowed the body and the nervous system down, this is where the real healing starts to happen. So bend both knees. This is our final posture before going into full rest in Shavasana. And I'm going to let you play with this spinal twist. So you can either keep your feet on the floor close, bring your knees close together, open the arms either into goalpost arms like we did in the beginning with the elbows 90 degrees, open them onto the floor, and let your knees fall to the side. So this is a little gentle version of a double knee spinal twist. And we turn our head to the left side. So feel that one for at least a few breaths. Or you can extend the arms open completely, straighter arms out on either side, about shoulder height. And bring the knees up a little higher towards your elbow. Okay, so that offers a deeper twist, but I don't want you feeling that you're forcing or straining to hold that twist. For me today, it would be optimal to keep my knees lower. So there's no pinching or pain in my body as I do this one lower. Higher, I feel like I have to hold it today, whereas sometimes that feels just really soothing. So this is where we check in with our own bodies to see, well, which angle, which range of motion feels really soothing and relaxing. And if your lower back or hips are tight, I can use my cushion, a blanket, or a bolster and let my knees just rest on the bolster here on my right side. So that's an option too. So you're not overstretching the sacrum or the lower back or the hip. Okay, so try that as well. A little bit lower or higher cushion, depending on your flexibility today and your comfort level. Once you're there, just close your eyes. Slow the breath, rhythmic breath, natural breath. How could you position yourself so that you're 1% more relaxed? When you're ready, same thing on the other side. Very gently come up. You can keep the feet glued together on the floor. Let the knees just fall to the left and move away from you. As you gradually turn the head to the right, the upper back is on the floor. Or you can extend the arms straight. You can bring the knees a little bit higher. Or you can rest the knees on a cushion or on a blanket to support you so you're not overly stretching. Just enough so that you feel that your muscles can relax. If the muscles are still holding on to tension, they're going to be a little grippy and they're just trying to protect themselves protect the joints so they tighten, or the fascia, the deep connective tissue, sometimes is taut or it stays tight to protect the joint. And then we're actually not relaxing. That's where the cushions, or adjusting your body in such a way where you feel that, yeah, this position really lets me let go. Surrendering the weight of your body into the floor. Notice the air gently rise and fall in your rib cage, your abdomen. And as you complete your next breath, again, taking your time to move yourself into a very supported Shavasana. Now I'll give a couple of options. If you want to use cushions, you can use a bolster. Sometimes when I feel I want to release back pain or really open up my shoulders and chest, I'll keep my feet wide, knees together, and just rest over the bolster like this to relax. If you have tension in your back, it might not be optimal to hold that position for too long, in which case you could place a cushion or a blanket under your knees, rest your back on the floor, part your legs, and let yourself release into a supported Shavasana here, which is nice for the lower back and the pelvis with the knees bent. If you have a blanket, you can put a blanket over your body or just your abdomen, just feeling that pressure of a blanket. Sometimes I even use this extra cushion here. Just the weight of that cushion on the belly is very soothing, relaxes our vagus nerve, keeps our central nervous system feeling safe and supported. I invite you to close your eyes once you find your position that feels the most soothing for you. Give your body a little scan, noticing your fingers and hands in their natural position. Allow your arms to feel heavy, shoulders relaxed. Every time you breathe out, feel that the ground beneath you is supporting your body a little bit more, getting heavier. Your head, your torso, your pelvis, your thighs, lower legs, your feet and toes. No struggle, no strain. Affirm to yourself now, internally, my body is relaxed. My mind is at ease. My heart is at peace. Natural breath. Natural release. And letting go. Giving your body, your mind, and your spirit permission to relax. Feel soothed. I'm going to leave you now in silence for another full minute before I call you back. Become aware of how your body has settled. Notice what might feel different now than when you began. Still with your eyes closed, moving into your sensory experience of just sensing your body from head to toe before adding a little bit of movement to fingers and toes. Start to move your ankles and your wrists. Then bend your knees and placing your feet back on the floor. You can hug your thighs back into your chest, rock side to side. Offer yourself any kind of stretch that might feel good for you right now. And you can roll yourself onto one side. Take a pause. And come back into seated when you're ready to conclude our practice together. Just have a seat for a moment. Close your eyes. Let's take 3 more deep breaths like we did when we began the practice together. Draw your hands together in Anjali Mudra, this uniting force coming home to yourself. Bow your own head. Just say thank you to your body. An inner thank you with an inner smile that these tools and tips are available to us so that we can use movement as medicine, use our yoga as medicine, and take care of ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Keep moving our body and feel the freedom of what our body offers us each and every day. Let's take a deep breath in to conclude. Arms up and come back home. Namaste. Thank you.